lad. You're coming with me.
Hello and welcome to Brand X Reviews. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Robocop 2014 remake Blu-ray, which just came out today. Today is June the 9th, 2014. So this film came out in cinemas about 4 months ago. It usually takes about 4 months for a film to get released on DVD, Blu-ray nowadays. But I've reviewed the film anyway back in February when it came out the cinema. You might have seen that I did a review with The Core. We also did a Robocop retrospective, so I'm not really going to rant on it. It's probably going to be a fairly short video, basically. Just kind of talk about what you get with the Blu-ray and pretty much what I think, having had the film be out for a few months now, kind of thing. You probably find that I'm probably the biggest defendant of this film. Most of the people, including Core, didn't really like it. I say it's a fair film. It's a fair attempt at a remake. I know it had a lot of problems and it's certainly got a lot of flaws, but second time around watching it, I still find it vaguely entertaining. I don't think it's a rubbish film. I don't think it's as bad as that, but when you hold it up to the original film, even the sequels, to be honest, it really doesn't quite measure up. I think most people will tell you the four main films that they've done, the new Robocop film is probably the third favourite. I think most people prefer them in order of 1, 2, this, and then number 3. I would probably agree with that, to be honest. I mean, I kind of liked Robocop 3 in its own kind of cheesy way anyway, but I would just kind of say that this is elevated slightly above that. But the Blu-ray itself, anyway, you've probably seen the film by now anyway, so I'm not really going to rant on about it. Like I say, that's in another video if you want to check that out at Brand X Reviews. The Blu-ray on this, for starters, I really love the cover that they've done on this. It's got kind of a 3D feel to it. I don't know if this film was actually released in 3D. I don't think it was. I mean, I didn't see it in 3D from memory. But it's got a 3D cover anyway, which is pretty cool. And I didn't see it on 3D in the shops. This is a Blu-ray that's available. I didn't look at the DVD, so I'm not quite sure what the extras are on this. But I wouldn't really think it's that far-fetched to say that the extras are any different, because there's not a huge amount of extras on this, to be honest. In fact, I'll show you, I'll be more specific. Let's have a look at the extra features now. Okay, so let's talk details now. The Blu-ray extra features aren't really all that great. You got a few deleted scenes, maybe half a dozen. Nothing spectacular, nothing that really you would remember. There's a confession bit at the end where Norton, that's the character played by Gary Oldman, confesses to Senator Dreyfus about what he's done and how they've kind of used the technology to make Robocop think that he's in control, kind of thing, which is like against what they say that they were putting out. So that was kind of interesting, but it ends fairly abruptly. I just have a feeling that the whole scene wasn't there. There are a few other little things as well. Like I say, nothing spectacular. That's just the deleted scenes, and nothing that goes on for really anything more than I don't know, 6 or 7 minutes when you put the whole lot together. Other stuff, you've got what's called the Omnicore corporate files. These are just basically short videos that detail the technology in this. For example, there's an Ed 209 one, which I'll show you.
The ED-209 stands 11 feet tall and comes equipped with twin Cobra cannons and Hellfire missiles that can be deployed a full 360 degrees. ED-209 is built from a blast-resistant material that is also environmentally sensitive and runs on solar power. Omnicorp protects the public and the environment simultaneously.
The rest of these, I think they go on for about 30 seconds each, and you can see there's not a huge long list of them, so that's what you get there. So what else do we have? We've got 3 featurettes, again not very lengthy. There's one called The Illusion of Free Will. There's one called To Serve and Protect, and there's one called The Robocop Suit. And these are all just kind of, I think the first one is like a main kind of featurette, which is about 6 or 7 minutes long. To Serve and Protect, that's about the equipment and stuff, the gun, the motorbike, pretty much. And the Robocop Suit, believe it or not, is about the Robocop suit. But some interesting stuff, but they don't go on for too long. The first two go on for about 7 minutes, that one goes on for about 15 minutes. So when you put it all together, not a huge amount of extras, unfortunately. So don't get me wrong, I mean, some of the featurettes are quite interesting. I think there was a good bit on it that Michael Keaton was basically saying that he used to kind of taunt Joel Kinnaman, the guy that plays Robocop in this, and he'd kind of take the piss out of him having to wear the Robocop suit, and he's like, What are you talking about? I had to wear the Batman suit, and the Robocop suit is like way more comfortable. It's got like its own little air conditioning like units inside of it and all that kind of thing. So don't complain. Don't be such a baby, basically. So that's quite funny anyway. I like that. But again, like I say, the extras are very kind of short and quick, and they could really have filled this up with a lot more stuff, to be honest. But maybe they just figured, who cares? The film didn't do brilliantly. From what I know, it was supposed to have been released back in 2013, but I think they delayed it because they just didn't want. They didn't have faith in it, kind of thing. But I don't think they'll do a sequel anyway. I really doubt it. I know that films like this that didn't do all that great. Sometimes there's a reason for it. Films like Dread didn't, from what I understand, didn't get a massive cinema release, so it didn't do brilliantly at the box office, but it did do very well on video sales. So there's quite a campaign to get a sequel to the Dread film from 2012. I don't see that being the case with this, to be honest. I think they've pretty much shot the boat with the reboots now, so it's kind of sad, really. I'm sure they'll do another remake in another 20 or 30 years, and it'll probably be all high-tech in ways that, we're not really capable of doing right now in 2014. But, that's all conjecture anyway. But that's pretty much my review anyway. As I say, my opinion of the film hasn't really changed since I saw it in the cinema. I enjoyed it, but I'm a hardcore Robocop fan, so it didn't take a lot to really please me. I draw the line at the TV series, the 1990s TV series. Watched the first few episodes of that when I was a kid, really did not like it. That is not Robocop, that is just offensive to what Robocop is. So, I know also there was the Canadian series of films, which I have watched recently, but didn't enjoy them. I was kind of like just doing stuff on my tablet and on my phone whilst watching it. I really wasn't all that interested in it. I was just kind of going through it just so I could say I've watched it. So compared to those, this isn't that bad. But it's just a shame that it was a 12, or in America a PG-13. I know that was due to the studio wanting to make the money back on it, basically, because it didn't have a brilliant budget to begin with, and then they increased the budget. But I think, from what I've read online, part of the condition was that the studio would really say, right, well, if we're going to give you this money, but we need you to cut down on certain things because we want it to be a PG-13, so we can get more kids in the cinemas, therefore make more money on it. It's kind of a shame, really, because the essence of the original Robocop was it was a very violent film, but it was satirical violence. It wasn't gratuitous. It wasn't done for the sake of being violent. Typical example, when Ed 209 is kind of shelling the shit out of that guy, and it just goes on and on and on till there's like not much of him left, and then somebody shouts out, "Somebody call the paramedics!" That's a joke, it's an obvious joke. If you kind of censor that out, the joke doesn't work. If you just kind of like shot him for a few seconds and someone shouts, "Somebody call paramedics," the sense of irony to that is lost. So, that was the kind of thing that they did with the original film, and it's a shame that they kind of toned it down for this, because it could really have paid homage in a slightly more special way to the original. Anyway, I've kind of ranted on a bit. That's my review anyway. That's, like I say, reviewed the film previously. I've ranted about the film here. Told you about the extras, so you know exactly what you get with this. This is the British version, obviously, so I don't know if there are any foreign versions out there that are any different, but if you're thinking of buying this, at least now you know what you're going to get, and I think we'll just leave it there. Now in the next review, I'm going to be talking about, where the hell is it? I'll put it down somewhere. The Robocop. There we go, the Robocop. This is something that I bought fairly recently, so check back at brandxreviews.com and I will tell you a bit more about this gem, where to get it and how much it costs, etc. And we will see you next time. Thank you very much for watching.